Hey guys, Chase with Shinify here, and we just got off a really interesting call with one of our bootcamp members, Jesse. He won our giveaway. We have a weekly giveaway we do in our boot camps, and basically we give away coaching calls, one-on-one coaching calls. And I asked Jesse if he would mind if we recorded it so we could share it with everyone, and he said that's fine. So I just got done editing the call, put captions on it. And if you want me to keep doing calls like this or posting these types of calls, let me know. Respond with the word yes in the comments. I think that this call is going to help a lot of people because Jesse's basically asking what's the best way to get started. And I did an hour phone call with him, explained what I would do if I was in his shoes. And I just think that a lot of people might benefit from this. Also, if you're not in the boot camp, I recommend you get in. I'll leave a link in the description. You can go and watch the replays, join our classes Tuesdays and Thursdays where we walk you through step by step everything you need to do. You can also enter our giveaways inside the boot camp as well. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to get into the call right now. The first part of the call, we had a little bit of a problem with the reception. So the first part's just kind of us rambling for a few seconds, but then we get into the call and there's a lot of really good stuff in here. So let me know what you think in the comments and we'll see you very soon.
Well, I'll just hold the phone.
Okay. Well, I'm doing the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, it was like you would talk and then I'd hear you for like a minute or two and then it would be like, it would just kind of like go off. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, no, that's weird. That's weird.
It sounds a little bit better now.
Yeah, cool.
So you were starting out at customer support and then you went to kind of like design and marketing.
Yeah, kind of like marketing design, and then did that for a while. Ended up back in in some product time too. Like we ran some I would build some prototyping type kind of things. So basically, like working with the CEO when he had some ideas, he wanted to like be able to see it. So I built some stuff in WordPress that was product related. So it's kind of like a non-development prototype. So you could like look at it and wave his arms around about it and show it to people and like, let's try this. And then, so we did a lot of things where they worked initially. And then once they could see them sort of working, then they'd actually go build them in product. So yeah, I did all kinds of stuff for them, which was great. And now I'm kind of looking at what the next thing is. And all the while, I kind of dabbled a bit in like the world of online marketing and trying to get my own thing going, but with working full time, and I never really worked to actually get that to generate any significant income. And, it requires quite a bit of brain power and time. So. So now I'm in a spot where I actually have the time, but I'm like, oh man, this is still like, I could spend next 3 months working on something and I kind of have nothing. So I'm like, what am I going to do here? So I'd love to pursue yeah, go ahead.
So let me just recap. So you were working there for like, you said like 12 years or 14 years, and
12 years. Yeah.
They were like, hey, inflation's getting crazy. We got to let you go. Something like that, probably. And then,
kind of. Yeah.
And now you were like, okay, well, I got to go on YouTube and start figuring something out. So I'm guessing you looked up something like AI just because it's probably the most profitable thing out there right now, most trendy thing. And then you found us, and then you were like, hey, I'm going to join the boot camp. How'd that work out?
So I'd actually been on your list for a while. I checked out Shine Ranker like a while ago.
Okay. So SEO stuff then.
I've done some a little bit of SEO stuff, and I think how I got introduced to you, I don't know, it might have been like Paul James or somebody. I went on his list for a long time, and so that was a while ago. And then I came back, and then recently when I got inspired by your stuff, it's when you were going live like every day there for a while.
Right.
I was like checking that out, and I was checking that out, and I really appreciated what you were doing on those live shows and your transparency and just like, hey, this is what we're doing, this is what's working, and I was like, well, that's pretty sweet. Like it looks like it's pretty genuine and actually working. So then I joined the boot camp, and it seems like, well, this doesn't look that hard. It doesn't involve like too many moving pieces. It doesn't look like I don't have to go and necessarily like do sales, I could set up a system and get it going, and kind of go from there. So that was
Got it.
kind of what led me in there. Yeah.
Got it. So kind of starting out with the SEO stuff, and then kind of more now transitioning to like, okay, well, how do we do these AI videos and start setting up a system for that?
Yeah. I dabbled in some local SEO stuff, and it kind of works, but like actually trying to get clients and get them on the phone and close them is not my favorite thing. Or like, especially not really great at sales. So I'm like, so, but so.
Right. So much easier to have the robots do it for you, right?
I mean that's the dream, right? I mean that would be nice, but but that's there's challenges. I mean there's tons of challenges in there as well. Right.
Right.
I'm looking at it's taking I don't know how long it's going to take, but I don't have a ton of time either. So I'm like, okay, can I keep this thing going? And maybe I actually need to get a part-time job or something here in the meantime. I don't know.
Right.
I'd love to hammer it and have it work within like the next little while, but I don't know how realistic that is. So yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. Like, yeah.
Okay, so I feel like I understand where you're coming from now. So first of all, to that let me address that question because I think that's one of the most important ones. Should you do something part-time while you're scaling this? I think, well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever done like freelancing or like had your own clients, or are you kind of just coming from the world of like working for corporate and now you're kind of like, okay, well, what do I do now?
Yeah, I've done some like websites and done a few things for friends, but like never like full on like freelancing through a site or like I had one cold client once, but that didn't work out. So I had a little bit, I guess, of experience doing stuff for folks, but not a lot. Yeah.
And what is your experience on like teaching? Like, do you know how to do videos or any of that kind of stuff yet? Like, long form content?
Yeah, I've done a bit of that. I did, this was a while ago, but I did do some videos, for the company I worked with, like early on when we had no support team. I made some videos, like how-to videos. So I used Camtasia and did that kind of stuff. I can figure that stuff out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and so here's what I'm going to say, because I was actually in your position not too long ago. I was working for a company doing their websites and their SEO and working. They were more an agency, and I was doing work for their clients. And I only had about, I think I was like $6 or $7 grand in my bank at the time, and it was enough to live off of for a few months where I was living in California. And they told me, they said, you got to, all the sites you're working on yourself, like you got to make it a part of our company, because we don't like that you're, while I was there, I was kind of building my own stuff, kind of like a security blanket.
Yeah.
And they said to me, like, look, we got to let you go, or you got to give us these sites, or, make us a partner in them. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. So I left, and I took some of the money, and I paid rent, and I lived in a garage for a little while. And what I did is I started trying to get my own clients, because the thing is that if I'll be completely honest with you, like the easiest way to get clients is by showing your skills. And the easiest way to show your skills is by doing some sort of video. And the easiest way to make money, if you're, like I always say, I don't want to say, the easiest way, because it's like all of our videos. But truly the easiest way, like this isn't like a hype thing. If you don't have revenue coming in, and so I don't know if it's okay, I'm not going to say it's the easiest. It's the fastest way. The fastest way to make money is by selling your time, because you only have so much of it. It's a finite resource, right? And if you wanted to start bringing in revenue very quickly, you only need a couple clients to do that, right?
Yeah.
And so I remember I was in the garage, and I was down to I started doing videos in the garage, brand new YouTube channel. I was getting 100 views a video, barely that, maybe 50. And I was down to maybe 1 or 2 months left. And I was starting to figure out, okay, well, what am I going to do? Because I don't have any money left. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember somebody reached out to me and they said, hey, I want your help. And that was my first client that I got for I think it was at the time, it was like $1,500 a month, but it was enough for me to pay rent. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I went down sort of similar route as you in terms of like having a job with a company and then leaving and then doing videos and getting clients. And so what I would say is like, but I also, I could have gotten more clients faster if I would have known a few things. And one of those things is like, if you really wanted to start getting clients, I would start latching on to some sort of community because, so for example, our community, Shinify, right? AI videos.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw recently, but we posted a video about a guy that used Shinify and he got like 200 leads in his first day or something, right?
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
Did you see that?
I didn't watch that whole video. I did
Right.
just watch your live stream from yesterday,
Right.
though.
Oh,
I got
yeah,
caught up on that, so I kind of got the gist.
Well, I mentioned it in that video. It doesn't matter that you watch the video. What matters though is the chain of events, which is that he made a video talking about how he was successful with our thing. We shared it because we want to have the publicity that we do good things, but then he gets all the traffic, right?
Right.
And so the point here, and this is what I wish I would have done earlier to get clients, because I was just doing videos like, here's how you do SEO, here's how you build a website, right? Like I didn't have any sort of leverage or traction. And so if you want traction and leverage really quickly and you want to start getting clients, one of the ways you could do that is you could start doing videos showing people how to become successful with whatever. And it doesn't have to be financially successful. It could be, here's how you go and make your first AI video, or here, and I know that's a little bit hard because our tool's having problems right now, but you can, but the point I'm trying to make here is like, take something that you can leverage, that you can ride a trend with. And I see so many people do this. Like some of my best friends that I talk to almost daily, I have this one friend who's making freaking $200,000 a month with Go High Level, which is a, if you know it. Yeah. It's like a,
I know what it is.
Yeah, it's just like a CRM for SEO and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the dude's making so much money, not just because he's promoting the tool, but because he's leveraging that community, right? He's found a niche that a lot of people are interested in, and he's kind of inserted himself into it, right? And so, for example, you could, let's say, make a checklist or something on, and I've done this before, when this one tool, Jasper, came out, which was like the first AI writing tool before all these ChatGPT tools came out. I made a checklist on it and I shared it in their community, and I got all these people reaching out to me because they're like, hey, I want this checklist. I want your help with this and that. And the idea is like, you want to kind of like put yourself in some sort of trend or some sort of community and start becoming like the quote unquote you don't have to be an expert, but you just have to know a little bit more than the beginner and start teaching about it, right? Like that guy that got the leads with the Shinify videos. I mean, he said to his brother, "Oh, I'm not an expert. Why would I teach this?" And the truth is, like, nobody's an expert, right? So I don't know if that makes sense, but that would be like what I would recommend starting out is like I would start finding a way to demo your experience, and I would start trying to find clients. Like, because you only need a couple clients to keep your boat afloat while you start going and doing these other things.
Yeah. No, that does make sense. Being able to get a couple clients.
And the AI videos too will get you clients if you start getting enough traction. So, like, if you start getting a page that's getting views, and you start doing like, here's the top 5 websites or whatever your videos are, you could start mentioning, hey, this website will give you a free audit of your marketing or something like that. And then you'll get all these people entering in their info to get the free whatever. And then you just start reaching out to them and you go, hey, do you have a second to talk? And then now you're getting all these people that are interested in your services.
Right. And being like SEO service or website service or whatever it is.
Yeah, and it could be anything. Like, it doesn't have to be AI or like, all that matters is you take something you know and then you figure out what's trending around it, right? So like, let's say you're really good at WordPress, or like, let's say you're really good at, I don't know, local or something, right? you just figure out, okay, well, what's trending around that? Like, what's a really trending, like high trending WordPress plugin that's going off right now? And then you could start taking, I'll give you an example. Like, so that's the new Sora technology is coming out soon from ChatGPT. Well, they say it is, but it's not even out, right? And a lot of people are like, how do I get access to this thing? How do I use it? There's no answers for it. And so we just started targeting that trend because we knew a bunch of people would search for it, but we literally in the video say, hey, by the way, you can't get this, but you can get this. And like you could do stuff like that where you're basically just like taking something that's trending that people are looking up and saying, hey, theoretically this is how this would work, but in reality you're not going to get it yet, so let me show you the next best option, and then you position your products or whatever your thing is as the solution, which ideally would be a service, right? But I would 100% say for you, because of the position you're in right now, that the AI videos are great, but they're a long-term strategy. They're not like you start posting videos and then the only reason why this guy got so many views over the next day and so many leads is because he had a Facebook account that already had a bunch of likes on it. And so until you get accounts that are warmed up, it's going to be very hard to get traction. And it would be really, I think, good to get a few people paying you for services every single month, so you have that security while you're trying to build up like this automated sort of system that takes a little while to kind of get going.
Yeah, that's what I was starting to think too. It makes sense. Yeah, ideally those would be clients I don't have to go back to a job that I don't particularly like. So
right.
But yeah, so I was thinking to hone in on what I want to do for a service. To think through that a little bit, or what, I guess go trend hunting a little bit. Maybe I'll get inspired, but.
Hopefully your Shopify account gets fixed soon, which, by the way, I'll be honest with you, like, I already know there's all these bugs with the tool. Like, we spend tens of thousands of dollars every single month trying to get them fixed. I don't know why there's so many, but I think it's just part of building an app as complex as ours. Is like, it's not like, it just doesn't want to work all the time. But first of all, or secondly, if you aren't able to get in, we'll fix it for sure. But also, if you end up spending credits or money or anything, we're happy to give you free credits and free, time on the tool. Like I say it to my team all the time. Look, if it's not working for our users, just give them free credits, give them a free month or whatever. And compensate them for it. But one of the things I could recommend to you is, like, if you do end up getting these videos going for yourself, like, I think, okay, so part of it is you want to put a certain level of weight on what you do. And I think this is a big mistake that people often, they don't do, right? The biggest thing I see people do all the time, oh, I'm not an expert. Oh, I can't teach this. I've never had any success. I've never made any money or whatever. You don't have to have this or that result to be qualified. And so, like, I think everybody's looking for permission to, like, be an expert or something, when in reality, like, the people that I know that are, like, the most successful, most of them are not that much smarter than you and I. The difference is that they just did a lot more action and a lot less talking about it, right? And so what I was going to say is, like, you could start doing, hey, here's how you make 30 AI videos in 10 seconds or something, or 10 minutes or something like that. And you could start sharing those types of videos in the community, and you get a lot of people going, oh my God, I've never been able to make videos, or Shopify isn't working for me. How do I contact you, right? You could take advantage of the fact that the tool doesn't work, right? But my point is that, like, there's a lot of, like, 90% of people don't even get started, right? And so while you're probably sitting there and going, well, what do I make videos on? What do I sell a service on? In reality, like, if you think about it, 90% of people don't even get started. And so if you could just say, hey, here's how you do something. Here's how you just do one thing, something simple, like here's how you make an AI video or something like that. And if you look at our videos, like our videos personally, like the ones we make, very, very like beginner. Like it's like very like, look, here's how you make an AI video with ChatGPT, right? And then that's pretty much it. So I guess what I'm saying is like, don't overthink doing something, because the things that are the most simple are the things that are like the things that you should sell. Like most people try to create this really complex product where it's like, let me add in all these bells and whistles and like, I'm going to do this for you, and then I'm going to do 20 weeks of content, and then I'm going to do this. It's like, no, make something really simple. Like, I'll do 30 AI videos for you. And you'd be surprised how many people want that, because even though it's easy for you or easy for, you know, whoever's doing them, a lot of people just don't even want to do anything. Like 90% of people want to do nothing. And so you want to target those people.
Yeah. And so where do you go, like, you know, use like leverage community, like go and like find like groups that you can, or like existing communities that you can then like post into, or like how did that part work?
Well, you want to think, okay, so another thing that you want to do is you want to remove yourself from your own like standpoint, right? Because right now you're thinking like, how do I go and post content so I can get leads to sell a service? Think about it this way. How can I create content that other people who have a community or a product would want to share? So like, for example, how could I create a video for Shinify that company would want to share because it makes them look really good, and they wouldn't really care about me, you know, promoting my own service, because the video that I make is so good that, you know, they're going to. And so what it comes down to is like you being good at reviewing things, right? So, for example, you know, if you took high level, I'm not going to talk about Shopify, I'm just going to say high level. If you took high level and you're like, wow, look at this. I made this AI automated funnel in 10 minutes, and it allows you to auto respond to like hundreds of people with ChatGPT. And I'm going to give you the free template, and I'm going to tell you how great high level is. High level is going to be like, oh, cool, yeah, share that. And they're not going to really care if you say, by the way, contact me if you need any help with high level.
Right.
Because you're an advocate of their brand, right? Especially if you're an affiliate too. So ideally you want to find like companies that have good affiliates, because what you can do is you can make money not only selling the service, but also if people aren't even on the platform yet, you can give them your affiliate, right? So like, for example, with high level, you could have a $300 high level setup service for somebody. But then on top of it, you could say, by the way, you have to use my affiliate link and get like the maximum plan, which is $200 a month, and then you get like a 40% reoccurring on that too.
Right.
So you can do like a combo of affiliate and services.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but again, to answer the question, like you want to take it away from your problem and position it as the problem that you're solving for the community that you're going to be trying to get into, right? Because you're basically trying to hijack somebody else's community. But if you make them look really good, they won't care, right? Like that guy who did the videos on Shinify, and he's like, hey, I got this many leads. I don't care if the guy's promoting a service. All I know is that I make a video, and now I have all these people that are like, oh my God, Shinify works.
Right. Yeah.
When it works.
Yeah. When it works. Yeah. It looks like they might have fixed it. All my failed videos are gone, and my credits have been or credited back to me. So I'll have to go and try it after this call here. Nice. Looks like I might be back in business here. Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah. So, yeah.
But I do think like the question you asked in the beginning is the most important question, which is like, what do I do? You know, like, do I do the AI videos? Do I do services? Like, do I go work a 9 to 5 for like part-time? And I think there isn't really necessarily a wrong answer. I think no matter what, if you put in the time, you're going to get to where you want to go, because it's really just like time in to the problem. And the more time you spend, you're just going to naturally start to figure it out. It's just how many times you're going to run into a wall. That's the question. But as far as probably the quickest way out of the problem, I would say you want to do two things. You want to start selling some sort of service, some sort of simple service that's easy to fulfill, right? Like, hey, I'll go and do videos for you, or I'll build you a WordPress website, or something just simple. don't make it like 500 different things.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And then what I would do, because you don't have to, like people will buy simple things, like you don't have to make it crazy. And then I would start figuring out how you can start demoing your experience, right? Like you want to think about doing videos, like long form videos, as kind of like, you know how they have those conventions with the ShamWow people where they're like, you can wash your boat, you can wash your car, right? Like you can wash your dishes with this, like, or like the OxyClean guy, you know,
Yeah.
Billy Mays. So when you're doing long form, that's essentially what you're doing, right? Because you're getting these people, and ideally you want to target some sort of community or some sort of trend that you can like leech off of, and so you can post your content somewhere. So let's say it's like high level, and you want to identify it like whatever people are looking up. Okay, a lot of people are interested in high level, let's say that. And then you want to show like 20 different ways to be successful with that thing. And success, again, doesn't have to be financial. It could be like, I figured out how to do this funnel. I figured out how to create a local website. I figured how to do this. Because the biggest thing that's going to happen is when people watch long form, they're going to do the same thing every time. They're going to go, well, it doesn't work for this. It doesn't work for that. It doesn't. And that's why those commercials do that, where they're like, you can use it on your boat. You can use it, because like they're going to say that. They're going to be like, well, I can't use it on my boat. And then you show them. And you can have the exact same video, because 90%, like I was saying earlier, 90% of the people that are watching your stuff, that are following you, that are buying from you, are new people. If you look at your analytics, you look at like all your traffic, it's going to be brand new people, because most people just look at something and then they give up and they never come back.
Right.
And so you could essentially have the exact same pitch every single time. But the idea is that you start getting consistent at pitching it. And I really think it's something that you can't not do, because it's got to be either you or somebody else, right? Like for me, I hire people to make the long forms now. They do the ShamWow commercials for me, and I'll still go on there and do lives every now and then. But like most of the time, it's other people doing those ShamWow commercials. And the reason why is because if we didn't do that, we would not make nearly as many sales, because people need to see that you're a real person.
Right.
And they need to see that what you're talking about isn't just like, oh, I got this many leads, here's a picture. Like they want to see, they want like even you bought through the live stream. And there's something about doing long form that if you don't do it, you're going to greatly reduce your chances of selling things to people. And so I would just say like one of the biggest things that you could learn or start doing as a skill would be to just start doing like simple how-to videos, because you're going to position yourself as the teacher, not necessarily the expert, but you're going to say, here's how to do this, here's how to do that. And now all of a sudden people are going to go, hey, can I hire you to do this thing since you know how to do it?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
So I don't know. Sorry I know you said you had to leave at like 12 or something. I'm just trying to give you as much as I can.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I got. It's not I don't have a hard stop at noon, so it's all good.
Is this helpful though?
Yeah.
Like,
I think so. I mean, it's making sense now. I mean, now my brain's just shifting into like, there's still like so many things I could do that for. So I'm like, well, now I gotta pick something to start doing. Like I get the action thing. Like I really want to like be in action. I know that that's what's needed to really start seeing stuff. And I do have I can tend to overthink shit and never do anything. I mean, like we all do, but so now I'm like, I just want to like latch on to like, okay, what's the thing I need to do, and just do it and not think about it that much. So yeah, I'm now just trying to think like, where do I start? Like, I mean, I'd love to keep this video thing going, but I can see it's going to take a while. So getting some clients would be, great. And so I'm just starting to think about, okay, what is that? Do I go back to like kind of pick up my local SEO thing, or actually what you're saying too is like with the long form video.
But the AI videos are going to take a while for you, right?
Yeah,
Because you don't have any traction. Just like a high-level account and funnel would probably also take a while for you because you don't have like an established website with traffic right now. And so the point is, anything when you start out is going to take a while for you. And so, but again, like that's your problem. What the real question is, what is their problem? Because you could find somebody with 1,000 followers on their Facebook page, or they could find you, right? And you could show them, hey, here's how you make the videos, and they immediately start getting traction and leads. Just like if you found a website with. So, what I'm saying here is that whether or not it'll work for you is kind of irrelevant. The question is, what can you do that's going to work for somebody else?
Right. Huh.
And you want to keep flipping the script because, again, like when you're dealing with your own issues all the time, you're constantly thinking about your issues. But the problem is there's no money in your issues. There's only money in their issues. And the more you can keep flipping the script, every time you go, well, I need to figure out this, right? I don't know what to do content on. Instead of thinking about you, think about, okay, well, what do they need? Who are they, right? Like, the more you can stop thinking about yourself and start thinking about their problems, whoever they are, right? Like, for me, I truly believe that people who start doing AI videos over the next, year are going to significantly improve the quality of their lives because of the fact that it's so automated. But I also know that it's a slower burning process, right? It's not for people that are like just looking for, $1,000 right out the gate. And so, but the point here is that the reason I teach what I teach is because I believe that the biggest thing that people need help with is this thing. And I constantly think about, okay, well, what can I do to help people more with this thing? Even though I have thousands of my own problems, like, for example, the software breaking 24/7, right? But, like, I try to spend less time thinking about that and more time like, okay, I know the software is breaking. It's out of my control, right? My problems are out of my control for the most part. All I can do is just keep proactively working towards improving the quality of my life. But the way the quality of my life improves is by improving the quality of other people's lives. Because money is just a reflection of the value that you provide for other people.
Yeah, for sure. No, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, it's just value. Yeah, creating value for.
And so I think what it comes down to is, like, what is your belief system? Like, what do you really believe people need help with right now? And who are those people? And, like, can you start obsessing over those people? Like, I was up till, like I told you on the text, like, I was up till 2 a.m. last night, literally, like, thinking about, okay, well, how can I help the people I'm trying to help? Like, what are their problems? Like, I ask myself that question literally like 100 times a day. Who are the people I'm trying to help? What do they need? I literally have a marker. And when I take a shower, I'll start writing on the walls because it's erasable. Because like the showers you can write with the Expo. And I'll literally write out, what do they need help with? Who are they? Like, and again, like, the more you can figure out, because think about this. If you're in the middle of the desert, it's the best place to sell water, right? Because nobody has it. You can sell water for 100 times the price. And so the question is, how do you find people with the problem that you're trying to solve? And the only way you can do that is by figuring out who those people are in the first place. That's how you can sell so much more, because it's actually very simple to sell things if you know who you're selling to, right? Like, if I know somebody's in the desert, I can go up to them and I can almost guarantee that I can sell water for $100 because they don't have it.
Yeah. So you had to, find people with problems.
And what is the problem you think people need solved right now? Like, what is the big, like, problem you think there's tons of people with right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not off the top of my head. I'm sure there's tons of them, but off the top of my head, I'm like, what is that? And that's also got to have some kind of interest from on my side too. Otherwise, it's got to be at least somewhat interesting for me too. Then I can be like, oh, I can help solve that problem.
Right. Well, it's got to be something that you like somewhat know about, right? You can't just be like, oh, God, everybody needs a mortgage or better interest rates, and then you start
Yeah.
But ideally, you find a trend that's doing well around something that you're sort of knowledgeable about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have to be an expert, because like most of the people that are crushing it online, they're just taking a trend, and like they don't really, like, most of the people that I know that are making money with like high level or something random, they don't care about that stuff. The only reason they're doing it is because they know that it just freaking works. They would rather be doing something else. But when you get a certain level of success just by riding a trend, it makes more sense to just ride the trend than it does to like try to go be an expert in like something that might be slightly more relevant to you, because it's a business. Like, at the end of the day, it's just numbers. It's just like, and you want to just be good at like removing your own emotions from the situation and going, okay, I know a lot of people are interested in this. I'm going to make a video on it. Okay, I just got a bunch of leads. They want sales. Okay, that makes sense. And the more you can simplify it and go, I know that trend's going to take off just by like looking at the numbers, and then you just go and replicate it. Like, you don't have to be innovative. You just have to be good at finding things. Like, I know a guy, he literally copies everything I do, like word for word. Like, he's got close to 1 million followers now. He's like been copying our software for like a couple years now. Guy, like, he's just a total leech. Like, all he does is just leech off of people.
Right.
But the point is he's very successful at it, right? He doesn't come up with any new ideas himself. Everything he does, he finds what other people are doing, and he just rips them off, right? Which I think is admirable, because at a certain point, it means that he's willing to let go of his own ego to do what works.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
and just because he's leeching off of go ahead.
Oh, so he's just seeing what works and just basically copying it and putting his own little spin on it or whatever. But.
Yeah, and just because he's leeching off people doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. Everybody kind of does it, right? He just does it to another degree. But my point here is that he's so consistent and so good at finding trends and just writing them that he's literally made a multi-million-dollar business for himself because of it, even though he doesn't have a single like ounce of innovation in his blood. And so that's what I would recommend to you is like, why try to go and come up with all these new ideas when you can just find what's already working for somebody else and just model them?
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
So I don't know. I've been doing a lot of talking. I apologize, but
yeah, no, it's good. It's good to hear that. I'm just trying to I'm just like thinking in my brain like, okay, like again, what's my next step from here to start?
So I'd say step one, find something that you think you could stick to for more than a month, and something that you think you could create content on for more than a month. If you look at something and you go, I could only do that for a week, don't do it.
Right.
Because anything that you do, it takes a little bit of time to compound. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. When I started doing SEO videos in the garage I was telling you about, I honestly didn't get any traction for years. But I also didn't do what I was telling you. I wasn't really writing trends. I was kind of just doing my own thing. Again, if I were to start over, so step one, find a trend. Step two, I would start trying to figure out how you can hijack it. Like, how can I start getting traffic from that thing? How can I start like getting into communities, like start interacting with people? The quickest way to start making sales is to insert yourself into a community and just start becoming like the community expert. Like, some communities will actually get mad at you for doing this because they'll know what you're doing. But if you're good enough at doing it and you don't ruin their reputation and you actually help them, they won't care.
Right. Make them look good. So, as long as they're looking good and their products looking good, why would they care?
And as long as you're not like going in and just hard selling, right? Like, you want to just be like, hey, by the way, if you guys need help, and you don't have to hard sell to these communities. That you'll get so many people coming in that they'll just naturally start messaging you. And then step three, figure out something you can sell around that thing. So you find a trend, let's say it's high level or AI video or web design, whatever. You do content on it, like beginner videos. Hey, and you can even say, some of my best videos ever made, I say in the video, hey, I'm not an expert at this, but I'm going to show you what I know. And like those videos do better than anything else because people can relate to you. They go, oh, now I can relate to Jesse because it's not Chase, like this guy that runs this massive business. This is another beginner. I can actually believe what he's saying.
Right.
So there's power in being the new person to the block because a lot of people are new people as well, and they'll relate more to you than they will to us.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why we share that content in the first place is because we want to show like, hey, look, new people are doing this. But step one, trend. Step two, create content, make the community or the brand look good. And then step three, just start talking to people. Like you really want to just start pushing, hey, send me a message, send me a message, send me a message, send me a message. You'll start getting probably 10, 20 messages a day by doing this. And as you start to get these messages, start telling them, hey, do you want, what would be, one of the best questions you can ask is, what's something I can help you with? And then they'll tell you the answer. And then the next question you ask is, what would that be worth to you? And then they're going to tell you what they'd pay for.
Right.
And then you just start selling services.
Right. So I'm just writing some stuff down here. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Yeah. Just gotta start thinking about a little bit, like what, my interest, skills, and then community to start doing some stuff. Like most people do like post your, like start doing videos, like post them to like make a Facebook page, do that, post them on YouTube, like kind of that. Those mediums.
Yeah, I would post them on YouTube, and then again, I wouldn't worry about necessarily the platforms as much as I would just providing like insane value to the brand and the community that you're trying to get into.
Right.
So like you want to make a video where you're just like, oh my gosh, this tool is so amazing. Anybody who's not paying for this tool right now is a loser. Like, because then the company's going to watch that and be like, hey, this is great, and then in there you just keep saying like, hey, send me a message, by the way, guys, if you want me to help you with this tool or with this thing, right? And you could do this with like 20 different communities at once, right? Like you could have one video about Shinify and then one about, I don't know, some other tool like Radar, or like you just want to find trends with communities. And it could be in the form of a Facebook group or a product or anything, but you want to make sure that there's people in that thing. And you want to find something that you think that that you're going to be able to get some traction posting about, right? And the easiest way, by the way, to do that is you can make a testimonial, put it in the group, and then see if the people allow it, right? If they allow it, then chances are they're going to let you do a video.
Right.
So you could go into high level, you go into anything, and go, like you could go into WordPress for beginners. Let's say it's a Facebook group with like 200,000 people, right? You could go in there and say, hey guys, just wanted to show like how much this community has helped me. Here's a testimonial of like some graph. This is a WordPress site I designed for my old company. Here's how many visits we got. Thank you guys so much for teaching me all this stuff. Boom. That's your video, right? And then video number, or that's your picture post, and then video post, basically the same thing. And what you're doing though is you're indirectly promoting yourself because you're saying, hey, I did all these things that these people told me to do, so it makes them look good. But I'm successful. Look at the results I got that I'm responsible for. Send me a message.
Right.
So it's basically like indirectly giving yourself a testimonial by giving somebody else a testimonial.
Right. Yeah.
And then you could do that with like 20 different groups. Like you could just be spending all day like just scalping these groups. But as long as it makes the groups or the products look good, that's all that matters. Because again, like these people are like, video testimonials don't happen often. Like people don't like often do video testimonials. So like anytime a company can get a video testimonial, and as long as you're not on there like, hey, by the way, buy this, buy that, and you're just very like smooth about it, they're not going to care.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah,
That's what I would
start
do.
doing that. I mean, yeah.
Just based on your situation, though. Like, if you were in a different situation, I would probably say something else. But
Yeah.
at your current point, that's what I would do. If you had already a few clients and you were doing well, and then you started saying, "Hey, Chase, I'm making money, but these clients are like driving me nuts. How do I stop doing clients and do more affiliate and create an automated system?" Because that's going to be the question you ask after this one. But
Yeah.
that's not applicable to right now. And so
Yeah.
your thing right now is just like, okay, how do we keep the boat afloat? And
Yeah.
that's what I would do. And then once you get the boat afloat, you start having some revenue coming in, then I'd start thinking about, okay, how do I start automating more of what I'm doing so I'm not spending all this time trying to do fulfillment and have clients complaining at me all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of why I'm like, I didn't really initially, well, I didn't want to do a bunch of clients because that's a major pain in the ass. But I see definitely the value of it initially because I need to do either clients or, a job to get, to cover my expenses. So the boat stays floating. Right. Exactly. And then, I build a system that's more automated long term.
Well, and you're always going to have clients. It's just how involved are you going to be, right?
Right.
Because whether you're doing like software or affiliate or courses or any of that, like you still have clients. It's just a different type of client. Right. And the most annoying type of client you can have is services, but it's also the quickest way to make money. So it just depends on what you want. And I would say that at least getting clients, you're not like showing up and building somebody else's business. Cause like that's the worst. You're showing up to work every day and you're like, hey, how can I build your business for you? Right? How can I trade my time for money? Where in reality, you want your money to like make you more money, right? Like you want to be an investor and you want to spend $100 and make $500. But you can't get to that point until you start having the cash flow. And then when you have the cash flow, then you can start figuring out, okay, how do I delegate what I'm doing to other people?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Cool. Okay.
So I don't know if that helps at all, but
yeah, no, I think it's been good. Be cool. Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be cool if you could send this music recording too of this. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I hopefully it recorded. I've never really recorded a phone call before. It's usually like I just got an app for it, so I'm like hoping it goes through. I'll send it over to you. And then do you mind if I like posted if the call comes out well, do you mind if I posted this in the group just so or in the course just so other people could benefit from it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
okay, cool.
Fine. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, do you have anything else that you want my input on?
No, I don't think so. I think I got to wrap my head around switching gears here a little bit and focus on getting a client or two and just keeping the boat afloat and then also keep rocking just focus on getting some short-term money so I can focus on the long-term thing. Right. But
and could I add one more thing? I would say don't question if, just question when, because it is possible for you to do this. I'm telling you, you can become very successful doing your own thing, doing you could end up having an automated system and a business with employees and all these things. It's just time. It's not if. And so don't give up because if you give up, don't give up because you think, oh, it's not possible. Give up because it's too hard. But and I'm not saying give up at all because I want you to keep going. But I am saying it's not about whether or not it's possible. It's about it just is. If it was easy, everybody would be at the top. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess what I would say is focus more on just becoming a little bit better and don't worry about whether or not it'll happen because it will if you just keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I believe it. Yeah. Just sticking with it for long enough. Yep. Yeah.
Right on, Jesse. Yeah. Well, hey,
cool, man.
I'm rooting for you.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Stacey. I appreciate it. It's been great to it's great to meet you. Great to chat. I watched a lot of your videos now, so it's been great to have a bit of time and actually connect. And it's making sense. So I'll keep trucking, and I'm looking forward to posting and letting you know how I'm doing. Or
I can't wait to see some videos from you.
Yeah.
If you end up doing them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll do something. It could be even I just start with the Shinify video because that's something I'm sort of at least somewhat into at the moment. So, and I've got some ideas about some other stuff. I have a bunch of skills like for, web-related stuff and marketing and WordPress stuff. So it can't be that hard to think about some of these problems and just by the way, if something isn't working, so for example, let me give you just one last example and then I'll stop talking. Sora doesn't work, right? There's no way to get access to it. Literally, there's no release date. There's literally no reason for me to talk about it because, from a logical standpoint, how am I supposed to show something that doesn't currently work, right? And so for your example of Shinify, it's like, okay, well, I want to get started, but the videos aren't working. Okay, but are the videos working for somebody else? Yes. And so the point is you can still show people how to do things without doing them yourself, right? Like for me, I can go, hey, here's how Sora would potentially work. And then I show all this stuff about my theory and what I'm saying is that if you want to be good at doing things and getting content out and not having blockers, right? Come up with good ways to basically just BS your way through it. And what I mean by that is you can do a video on Shinify. Just show how Shinify works. Show them a demo video. And then go show every other part. Right? Because Shinify is just one part of the equation. You still have to do the scheduling. You still have to do ManyChat. You still have to do prompting. You still have you could have a 10-hour video about Shinify and only 5 minutes is about Shinify and the rest is about the rest of the process, right? Yeah.
And so all I'm saying is that don't talk yourself out of doing something just because one part of the problem isn't working. With Sora, I could say, oh, I'm just going to wait for the thing to come out. No, why? You're losing out on a trend that a lot of people are looking for because you're saying, well, I have to wait. And that's just an excuse to not do something. When in reality, you could say, hey, I don't have access to this thing right now, but I'm going to show you how it works. And I'm going to show you how you would go and do everything else you would need in order to make this thing successful or work or whatever. And you can show the precursors or the things that you do after, right? You could say, hey, by the way, this is a Shinify tutorial, but I'm just going to be covering prompting today. I'm just going to show you how to use ChatGPT. And so it's still a Shinify video, but it's just talking about the precursors or the things that you would do after, if that makes sense.
Right. No, it does make sense. Yeah, because, there's so many different parts to the process that, for people that probably don't even looking at it, they would never realize. That's the thing. The devil's always in the details. That's often the thing I see first is I see something I'm like, okay, that looks easy, but I know that there's 10 other things that are actually, hard in that process, right? Especially if you've never done it before, right? So.
Right.
Yeah.
You could also show them, hey, here's how you would manually do one of these videos. Here's how to use ChatGPT and then CapCut and all these things. And then at the end, you could be like, oh, or you can use Shinify. Go check it out over here. And then you can just tell them how it works. You don't have to show them. All I'm saying is there's so many different parts of the storyline, and often you want to take advantage of the fact that things don't work, right? Sora doesn't work, so all these people are looking up how to get it because there's no way to get it. And so you want to take the problem and position that the solution to the thing. And that's why I was saying earlier, you instead of waiting to do whatever you're trying to do on the trend, go and create the solution to it, even if it's not even the actual thing. When we say, hey, Sora doesn't exist, go use Shinify, we do slideshows with images. It has nothing to do with Sora. But what we say is it's the next best option, right? So let's say there's all these people that aren't able to use Shinify for whatever reason because the tool has bugs. You could say, hey, there's a lot of people that have problems with the tool because it has bugs. Let me show you how to do the same thing manually so you can start practicing. And then boom, you're still doing a video, but you're helping all of the people that have the same problem as you. And so remember, instead of thinking about your problems, think about their problems. Who are they?
Right.
What do they need help with? And how do you fix it?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. to be even for the people who are like, oh, I don't want to pay for something. I mean, there's a manual way to do it, right? You just show them, hey, just do this, and it's going to take you 10 times as long, but you can still do it. You can still get
Right.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Cool. It's been good. Lots to think about. Yeah. Appreciate your time, Chase. And yeah, we'll see you around in the Discord or whatever. And yeah.
Right on, Jesse. Well, I appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Awesome. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.